Hello everyone, it's Natasha from Treasure Books. You can fuse plastic bags by ironing them together, and then you get this sturdy material that you can work with. I have 13 specific project ideas for you today using this material. You can make these for yourself or for gifts, or you can make them and sell them at markets or Etsy. Just saying, you know. First, I will show you the correct and safe way of ironing and fusing plastic bags, safe for you and your iron, and then we'll jump into making the 13 projects. Let's get started. For this project, you will need, of course, your plastic bags. Shopping and grocery bags are perfect for this. You want plastic that stretches when pulled and doesn't rip. So none of this stuff is going to work, no chip packets and things like this. You can also use cereal liners. Even though this plastic isn't really all that stretchy, it still works. You can even use page protectors if you have this kind of thing, preferably, you know, something that's been kind of used and is no longer serving you. I mean, you don't want to be using new packaging. You don't want to be buying stuff especially just to do this project. All right, so have a look at all of your grocery shopping bags that you have in your home and get them all together. Look at how beautiful this one is. I'm hoarding it. This is just a standard bag, and this one as well. So get everything out and let's get to the ironing business. All right, first things first, I'm going to cut this bag open. All right, and this way I can work with this. I can make it nice and flat, and I can cut even sheets and all that kind of thing. So I always like to start with opening the bag, and I do that with all of my bags. And once they're ready, I protect my surface with some baking paper or any non-stick baking paper. Here we go, just for reference. I have my iron here ready, and I've turned it on and set it to the highest setting. Your finished ironed sheet of plastic will contain 4 to 6 layers of plastic, but we're not putting all of the plastic together all at once and then ironing. We're doing sheet by sheet or 2 by 2, I would say. So I'm starting here with a cereal bag, and usually my first layer is something that's going to be sandwiched in between a nicer bag, let's say. So I'm using cereal bag. You can use ugly bags like this kind of thing, you know. You can use the white side, of course, and this will be your kind of the substance of the finished plastic sheet. A very important thing to keep in mind is that you must not let your iron touch the plastic, so you always want to be covering with the non-stick baking paper. And another thing you might want to do is open the windows, open the doors, because fusing plastic or melting plastic can emit toxic fumes. All right, so now that our safety precautions are out of the way, the windows are open, the door is open, and the plastic will not be touching my iron, we can begin ironing. So basically what you want to do, as you can see here, you just want to kind of go over the whole surface fairly quickly, I suppose. And what will happen is, and what you're noticing here is, as you're fusing plastic, it starts shrinking and it starts bubbling up. So if you have something like this handy, pop it right over the top, just for a few moments to keep the plastic kind of flat. And then what you want to do is turn your plastic around and iron from the other side as well. All right, so this is my very first layer of plastic done. It's fused, glued together. And I mean, you can do stuff with this. I love how this is looking. I want to take it to my sewing machine and make something just out of this. But now what you want to start doing is to build it up, because as you can see, perhaps you need your sheet to be sturdier than this. So this is only 2 layers and we're going to be doing 4 to 6. So because I know that I'm going to be using this on the front and back of my sheet that I'm making here, and this is 2 layers and I have 2 layers here, I am just now going to keep fusing the non-special pieces. And the more layers you add, the less bubbling you get. And now adding another layer to the other side. All right, let's see what we have so far. This is how it's looking. It's all nice and fused. I'm gonna get rid of all of these end bits here because I have parts that only have 2 layers and then parts that have 4 layers. So this is all kind of the middle of the sandwich. Might as well trim this off now just so I can see what I'm working with. All right, and now here comes the hero of the piece. And I'm going to sandwich this piece in between 2 pieces of this bag. And I'm going to iron away. Honestly, you don't have to be working with such large pieces as this one. I don't know why I chose to do such a large piece. And of course, turn it to the other side. This isn't done. I want to do a little bit more ironing, but you can see this section here that has the layers underneath, and then you can see the section here that doesn't have anything in between. So just 2 pieces of 2 layers of this plastic. So you can see how much more shrinkage you get when there's no, stuff in between. All right, let's see what we've got. This is something I could most definitely work with. I could have had only 4 layers. There was no need really for 6 layers. It's quite thick and sturdy, and I'm quite happy with how this one turned out. And now I'm just gonna have to cut it down. All right, this sheet is done and ready to go and be transformed into various different projects. So now that this one's done, I'm going to show you a multicolor alternative next, just in case if you don't have a uniform bag like this and you've got a bunch of bags with different colors and writings and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to show you what you can do with those. All right, and that one's done and dusted. Imagine the fun you can have if you had all different colors, yellows and greens and blues, and you can do shapes, you can do hearts, you can do all sorts of stuff and just keep adding to your design. And then, you know, I was thinking of using this one to make a glasses case or something like that, but we shall see. Okay, so now that the ironing business is out of the way, let me give you the project ideas. Project number 1 is pendants. Look at these beauties. They're so simple to make and quick, and that's why I have them as the first project that I wanted to show you. Okay, who would have thought that this is ironed plastic bags or grocery shopping bags, right? I love this idea so much, the sustainability of it, and this is something that you could base your whole business on. You can have a stand at a craft fair selling fused plastic jewelry. And I didn't even put any thought into this one. I was just cutting the offcuts that I had left over from the projects that I'm going to still show you. And they're basically just offcuts, and I just put them on a little thing and a chain and made them into a thing. Okay, it's the presentation and the story you tell that makes the product special. All right, by the way, I just want to show you that this pendant came from this plastic bag. And don't be discouraged by the relative ugliness of the sheet that you produce, because once it's made into a project, it takes a whole nother form, obviously. Let's move on to project number 2, which is a pouch. And see what I mean? When it's an actual project, it just takes a whole new meaning. We're going to do this one together on screen. I'm not going to do a full tutorial on all the things that I'll show you today, like pendants, for example. Pretty self-explanatory how to kind of make it, but we are going to make this one together. All right, let's get started. Now the last one, I'll show you how I finish off. I go through the same way. Tie a little knot and then go through again. Tie another knot and then go through from the front to the back. And now at the back, just to be on the safe side, I'll go under the threads and tie another knot, and again, because why not? You really want to make sure that that's nice and secure, so hence all the knots. And if you wish, you can pop a little dab of glue on that knot. I might do that later, because now I have to repeat this exact same process on this side. Poke in the holes. I threaded my needle, tie a knot on the other end. I want a bit of a large knot, so I'm gonna actually tie 2 knots on top of each other. Maybe even 3. I'm starting on the inside of the pouch, the very bottom hole, because I want to hide the knot. Excellent. Now I'm gonna go to the back hole and all the way through to the front. And that's what I have. I'm gonna go through that same first station. And now I'm just gonna go all the way up. I'm doing the blanket stitch. going in through the back of the bag to the front, just like that. Wrap it around through from the back to the front and keep going. And the sides are sewn. I also added some weaving in and out here on the flap. And now I just need to add my closure. Just gonna go in with this little bit of string that I have left. Tie a square knot. I'll do another square knot here up the top. Bring it down and knot again. Get rid of this excess, and that's securely attached. And now I can close the pouch. And here we go. How glorious. I love how this turned out. And did I mention how sturdy this material is? This is no flimsy plastic. Look at this. It's basic. It's like a milk bottle, you know. It's very sturdy, in other words. Okay, moving right on to project number 3. Of course, I couldn't resist. It's a journal cover. Really, really simple and easy journal made from the plastic. Just cut down a sheet, and I did do a zigzag stitch all the way around. This is for aesthetic purposes only. It doesn't actually need to be holding anything together because all of the plastic is fused. So it's just for looks, basically. Oh, and before I forget, I nearly forgot to mention, you can use this method of fusing your plastic bags onto other things, not just plastic bag to plastic bag, but napkins work really well. So you can see here, one side is just napkin, just one ply of beautiful napkin, and the other side is cereal bag. I do have a video on doing this, and in fact I did a few projects in that video. I will link down below if you want to have a look. So I wasn't fusing plastic to plastic, I was fusing a napkin in between 2 layers of plastic. And I also of course made journals. You can see this one here, just a napkin. Quite beautiful result, actually. I think I'm liking this result better than this, but with this kind of thing, you can really play around with your napkins. You can use up your beautiful napkins and make all sorts of different things. I made all sorts of stuff in that video, so I will link it down below so you can have a look. But let's not take away the spotlight from this journal. I'll just quickly kind of flip through if you want to have a little bit of random inspiration. Look at this. A bit of vellum random inspiration. Just do a quick flip through. You know, we have a bit of this and a bit of that. The usual stuff. All right, that's the journal. And of course, I did the same type of closure, but I tied this sari silk, and I'll show you how the method of tying this. So you can see I left a long piece here, and then I have a really long piece here, and then this wraps around like so, and wraps around like so, and then you have 2 pieces here that you simply tie a bow with. And there we go, done. Beautiful little journal, beautiful journal cover, and look how cool they look together. Journal and a pouch. All right, let's move on. Project number 4 falls into the jewelry category, and it's earrings. So for this one, I used these 2 bags, and I kind of did the mismatch thing happening here. And the way that I cut these shapes out is by using my Sizzix machine and this die cut. I think somebody actually sent me these die cuts, so I really don't know where you can get them. But if you have a Sizzix machine and all sorts of different die cuts, the things that you can do are endless, really, depending on the kind of shapes that you have. And then, of course, all I did is added some eyelets and some links and earring posts, and I have my earrings done. These earrings go really well with the pendant. It's a little jewelry set. Okay, let's move on. Project number 5 is a pencil case. This is really easy and simple to make, And it has a little Velcro closure here. It can really be anything really, cosmetic pouch, pencil case, glasses case, you name it. And all this is the multicolored sheet. So you can see some Aldi bags, Big W bags, all sorts of different things. And then I used a little bit of the black bag. This one here, just on the top, kind of did a wiggly line up the top, just to kind of differentiate, I don't know, that top border there. So the way that I made it, of course, I ironed the multicolored sheet. This is also another bag. This one's from Kaiser Craft. And I had my sheet just like this. And I folded it in half, just like so. And sewed the edges here to make it into a pouch. And then I added the Velcro closure here to keep it closed. And that's it. That's all that is. Easy peasy. Idea number 6 is keychains, pretty much following the same kind of thing I did for the earrings, you can see here, and also for the pendants, the random shapes that were left over from my projects. This was from the pencil case. And they can be key rings, they can be charms for your journals, tassels, you can hang them on bags. Let's see. Here is my handbag, and this came with the bag. So I love this kind of thing on bags. So if I remove this, I really need to give it a clean. Let's see how something like this will look. The clasp is too small, but here we go. That looks quite nice. I would probably dress it up a little bit more. How about this one? I could have a few of them. That looks really nice if I had them hanging off of one clasp. I need a bigger clasp to fit on there, but I really like how this looks. Perhaps something like this on the side of the bag. That looks quite nice too. You can also hang them on your journals. As I said before, look at that, how cute. And of course, since I'm calling them keychains, you can hang them on your keys. I think you get the idea. You just hang them onto anything that you can latch stuff onto. Idea number 7 is a glasses case. I am going to show you how I did this one. I had a bag from Sarajevo. This is my hometown where I was born. And of course, I wanted to use it in some way. I wanted to preserve it, let's say. And so I made this. All right, let's get to making it. For my sunglasses case, I was thinking of just joining these two sides here, either with super glue or hand stitching. But now I'm thinking that I want to use a zipper. All right, let's see if this will ever work. Oh, okay, that works. Now I'm going to sew this on, just gonna do a straight stitch. Okay, that's done. And now all that's left to do is to sew across the bottom to keep that closed. And here it is, my little sunglasses case, done and dusted, even though the zipper really is not necessary, but anyway, it's there. And how beautiful. I can now perhaps think about a closure here, maybe add a little Velcro or snap closure, even though I don't mind leaving it just as it is. Because I love the way it turned out, and I love the look of these melted bags and all of the colors coming through and kind of merging together. Looks like splashed paint, but it's plastic. I'm feeling pretty smug about this project. I really like how it turned out. Idea number 8 is buttons. So I have a bit of a love affair with buttons, and I have a full video of making these extra large oversized buttons, and then I have a follow-up video on how you can use the buttons and what will you do with them. So of course, when I made my sheets of plastic and I was thinking of ways to use them, of course I'm going to be using them as buttons. Just saying, look how ugly this looks when it's not something, and then when you make it into something, look how cool. How cool does that look? So with these buttons, with the material of, I find that when you're using the Sizzix machine, which is what I use for this, to cut out the circle shapes, it doesn't actually go all the way through the material, depending on how thick it is. So I did have to go in with my scissors. You can make, if you don't have die cuts, circular die cuts, you can, of course, just cut a circle by hand, and it doesn't even have to be a perfect circle. You can totally just do something like this. Let's try one. All right, here it is, not a perfect circle. And then you can have either 4 holes like I did on these, or you can have 2 holes like I did on this. I did use eyelets because I just love eyelets so much, but I'm pretty sure in this video I don't have one here to show you. Oh, actually I do here. This one doesn't have eyelets. I just used a Sharpie to accentuate the holes. You know, if you don't have eyelets and stuff, no big deal. All right, let's make this into a button, shall we? Maybe I'll go for this side, and I'm gonna mark myself where I wanna make the holes. So maybe I can do 4 holes. And I'm not even gonna use eyelets on this one. I'm just gonna make the holes. Maybe I can accentuate those holes with the Sharpie. Oops, kind of did a bit too much on that one there. Oh well. All right, and now perhaps I might want to do the edge too. Just finish it off. Looking good so far. Maybe I can get some fancy ribbon. All right, I have my fancy button, and then I'm just thinking on the fly here. I attached it to a bookmark. Didn't do a great job here at the back. Something to ponder. Maybe I can have the the paper clip in place and then do the threading. But this could perhaps live in this journal since it goes with the aesthetic. So let's pop it in, see how it looks. I don't know, there we go. Maybe we can do something like this as a little gift. No, that's too big. Maybe somewhere on the inside, perhaps on a shorter page. This one looks promising. Keeping with the aesthetic there. Yeah, that looks quite nice. Anyway, I think you get the point. I just wanted to demonstrate that you don't need perfect circles, that's all. Okay. Idea number 9 is charms, and this goes hand in hand really with the pendants and the earrings and keychains and all that sort of stuff, but I just wanted to show you the different kind of things that you can use them for. So here I have all the oddly shaped cut pieces, and I put them on all different types of latches that then I can attach to my journals and closures. Little things like this can go on journal tabs and stuff like that. So here I have a safety pin, here I have a bulb pin, and then I have a chain, and then I can go ahead and add extra little bits. You know, this kind of thing, if you have stuff like that in your stash, just get creative. And I was pretty much using just things that I have in my stash. They're all different types of latching tools, I suppose you can say. This is from fishing swivels or something like that. I found a whole bunch of these at a $2 shop for fishing stuff. I don't even know how I came across the fishing section at the $2 shop, but when I saw this, I thought, well, I gotta have that. And it was only like $2 for a whole bag of these things. So yeah, there we have it. I have to say, I especially love these non-uniform ones. They look very arty, kind of something that an art teacher would wear as an earring. So cool. All right. Idea number 10 is tags and gift tags. These are specifically gift tags, but they can be tags for journals and things. And I just made them real fancy, really, with the use of stickers and gold little charms, and just stickers, doesn't need a charm. And the more I kept making them, the more fun they became. You can see this with love. It can go on presents and things like that. You know, these are just stickers, right? And the more you make them, the more fun they become. Like this is the very first one that I made. with plastic bag from Kaiser Craft, and it had all this writing on it. And when I made this, I was like, oh, I'm not really loving that. It kind of looks a little bit, I don't know, not that great. And of course, it all comes down to the kind of bags that you have. So you can see most of my projects, I was using the black bag with the gold dots. I love that combination, black and gold. And also this bag, which is this bag. I even saved a piece. So really easy peasy. I don't need to do a demonstration on this. I cut all of these out by hand. I don't have a special die cut or anything like that. Just use my ruler and my X-Acto knife, and off I went, creating tag shapes and adding, you know, eyelets and string, stickers and charms and so on and so forth, as you can clearly see. Whisper to my heart, love, you will find it. Cheers. All right, let's move on. Idea number 11 is shapes. You can do any shapes, obviously. I chose to do heart shapes because, I don't know, I just wanted to do heart shapes. And this is only cereal bag. So, you know, you can just use clear plastic like this if you like this kind of look. I don't mind it. I went and sewn around because it was looking kind of a little bit on the ugly side. And then this is the multicolored ones, and they're both sides, double-sided. And after I cut out all of these shapes, then I had all of those other pieces that I cut out into pendants and etc. So the kind of things that you can do with this, I mean, this is just kind of what's coming to mind. You can make like a wind chime. I mean, I wouldn't be doing any chiming, but you know, you can attach them with a piece of string, have it hanging off of your kid's bedroom. I don't know, just throwing some ideas out there, something like this. I'll show you this just to get your creative juices flowing. This is from the oversized button tutorial, and this is what I'm talking about. So you can see how I made it into, you know, I have a little thing here, and then it can be hung up off of the ceiling, you know, double-sided buttons, as you can see there, because you want both sides to look nice and fancy, not just one side. But yeah, you can do this kind of thing. You can make large buttons and, you know, hearts and string them together, have some little beads. That's what makes it special. It's not the material itself. This is all cereal boxes right here. Cereal boxes and painty paints. Look, fun, fun, fun. Well, since I've pulled those buttons out, I might as well, this might give you some more ideas. Here I have hair clips, so you can do something like that with your shapes. You can do little heart shapes and make little hair clips. And I have a card. Just pretend these are your shapes and not buttons. Then we have something like this packaged up. Look at that, you know, and something like this and something like this. Beautiful. And something like this. These two specifically I wanted to put in my art journal. So let's see. This is where I come in and just get a little bit creative with, I don't know, fun stuff, stitching. And anyway, I just wanted to show you. I think this might look good over here somewhere, just like that on a page. Look how cool that looks. It looks so awesome, and there's all these textures. These are all projects that I've made in videos and you know, like I did this one recently where I did this skirt. So let's see. These are all, anyway, we can put them into pockets. Maybe I would get rid of the string like that. Or does this one go? Maybe not so much. Maybe that one would go with this girl that I never finished painting. Something like this on a art journal page. Anyway, some ideas for you there. And I just want to say one thing. Sometimes you can make things just for the sake of creating and enjoying the process. I love this material so much. Like, I love that we can do this with plastic bags. And now I'm thinking, looking at this, I could go in and poke some holes just like I did for that pouch and add some gold thread around the heart. I can do a blanket stitch around the heart, make it look real fancy. Put a little something here, a little butterfly. Just add little things to it, you know, make it look nice and blingy. Create for the sake of creating and, you know, just have fun. Idea number 12 is coasters. Where's my coffee? How's that? My Turkish coffee. I only made 2 of these, and this also goes, you know, to hand in hand with what I've just shown you. Shapes. Here we have squares. You can make tiny squares. Remember inches? I don't know if you remember that. Are they still around? Where you make inch by inch or even 2 by 2 little squares, and then you make art. You can perhaps do something like this. This was also done in a video, but instead of using like pretty papers, this is for quilting, you know, you're putting together things. Instead of using pretty paper, you can use your all different pieces. I reckon these would look good if I had more of these, you know, stitched together or glued down, and you make an art piece. You can have smaller, of course you can make little cards this way. Here are some of the things that I made in that quilting with paper video, just to give you some ideas. This is anything you do with paper, really, you can do with this. You just glue it down and it gives you more texture and thicker, sturdier material. So it's obviously different than paper, but maybe something like this, or you can have a piece like this, an oversized tag, and just one of your pieces can be fused plastic, right? Or here you can have little, you know, little centerpiece of fused fabric. But the original idea that I had was coasters, and I keep getting sidetracked because there's just so many different things that you can do with this. It doesn't have to be just coasters, right? Like when I see this, I see all the other possibilities. The possibilities are endless. There's so many different things that I haven't even touched on, like bags, handbags, for example, or wallets, for example. The material is very sturdy, and obviously it's plastic, so you can wash it. So that's why I thought coasters. And also my next idea, which is idea number 13, which is placemats, goes hand in hand with the coasters. It would be better if you had like the same kind of thing, you know. I'm not terribly proud of this one. I don't love it, just because of the way the bag turned out. And I actually did quite a number. You can see crunches when there's layers and layers and layers. How many? Well, it's impossible to count how many layers because it's all fused together. But anyway, I made this sheet, and then I realized it's way too thick to be making into like a journal cover or something like that. And one thing I want to mention, which I can't really show you because I already threw it away, but you might be able to see on this one a little bit. Some of the plastic bags that you use, for example, this is a real culprit here, this potato bag. When I was using the pink here, the pink was transferring onto the baking paper. And also some of the blue was transferring onto the baking paper. And I didn't change the baking paper because I can't be bothered constantly changing it. So then what ended up happening is this transference of different colors, and it makes a look on the white. It looks dirty, but it's actually just the transference of color, and I don't love it. I probably wouldn't be using this as a placemat, but I would make a different one, the one that looks nicer. Maybe I'd use my nice bags, which is why I said to keep your nice bags for the top layer, obviously. You might find that some bags will melt like right through. You can see this. You definitely will find that some plastics melt more than others. And even this, I'll just sew it together, but I think that we can do something like this. This one I did kind of like a dress. I don't know, I was just thinking when I saw it and I put it together, I was like, oh, that looks like a cool dress. We can make a bit of art with this. My mind was going there because only recently I did a tutorial on these dresses, or skirts rather, using leftover pieces of you know, paper and fabric, paper mostly, and ribbon. And this here is poured acrylic. I have a tutorial on this as well, and look how cool that looks. I made a dress. So because I've done a few projects using these kind of different types of materials and making dresses and skirts and stuff like that, when I saw this melted piece, I didn't throw it into the bin because I thought I could find an image Just randomly looking for an image. Oh, here we go, maybe. I don't know, you know, and we can do a little dress and add a little bling and just make it into something fun. I know this doesn't look like much fun, but you know, this kind of idea takes time and trying different things out to make it work. But it's just an idea because I love, look, I love this texture. It looks like paint, but it's plastic bag. Okay, so let's recap, shall we? Idea number 1 is pendants. Idea number 2, pouches. Idea number 3, journal cover. Idea number 4, earrings. Idea number 5, pencil case. Idea number 6, keychains. Idea number 7, glasses case. Idea number 8, buttons. Idea number 9, charms. Idea number 10, tags and gift tags. Idea number 11, shapes. Idea number 12 is coasters. And idea number 13 is placemats. All right, and there we have it, all the little projects that I made. And let me tell you something, I made all of this yesterday. So it doesn't take long. The ironing, you know, the ironing process also doesn't take long. And then just thinking of what to do with it takes quite a long time. So now hopefully this is going to help you. Hopefully it's inspired you. Please let me know what you think. Write me a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. Do you feel inspired? Have you done this before? Will you be doing it? If you are going to be doing it, make sure you open the window and protect your iron. And also, of course, make sure to have fun. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.